Hello everyone and welcome back to this humble abode of gameplay and memes. Today I return to you with some more Dota 2 and another rather exciting video, or maybe not, we'll see. So as you might or might not know, for the last 2 months or so, give or take, everybody has been complaining that, the balance of Dota is getting old. There hasn't been a balance update for a very long time, essentially since like January, I think. So everybody is already sick and tired of this balance, everybody wants new balance changes. So of course, Volvo, in their infinite wisdom, decided to make the only possibly correct move and introduced a huge update that brought no balance changes whatsoever. Yes, instead we've got a whole bunch of cosmetic stuff, like these two arcanas you see right here. A whole bunch more ways to spend your money, and every single one of those ways does not alter the gameplay, but for making the video quality or picture quality slightly better in some cases. So yeah, I do appreciate how lovingly everything was done. All these like new maps and all of this new lore that they've dropped that hasn't happened for a very long time. It is all rather exciting, but this is not exactly what everybody asked for. So today I decided to match this pro game remove with a pro game remove of my own. So we're going to completely ignore all of the stuff that has been introduced in this new update, and instead we're going to go to something that has been in the game for basically forever, that being Dota Plus. That's right, I used to be subscribed to Dota Plus a very long time ago, but now I've decided to reinstate it because I just wanted to see if it's actually worth getting. So it seems like a lot of new stuff has appeared. For example, here this battle report stuff between between December and March. I do not remember any of this existing before in 2018. So you've got your like overall performance, you got your best heroes. You've got, apparently my best role is hard support, which I actually don't like playing support, but whatever. Slightly higher win rate on Dire. These are like the best stats. Maximum hero damage, maximum tower damage, maximum what have you. Now we've got the calendar, which is the what? I guess this is the calendar of, this is the calendar of 2023, 2024 when I came back to Dota. There's all this stuff, so very interesting. I don't remember any of this. But yeah, apparently Weaver is still one of my top rated heroes, even though, Weaver doesn't actually have a very high win rate in general in this bracket, but for me it apparently works pretty well. Also, so do Conca Prophet and of course Nyx Assassin. Oh, actually no, never mind. I've only got like 28% win rate, and I don't know what's happening. Although I guess if I were to somehow sort it by the recency, then maybe it would have been okay. But yeah, for now it's I don't know. Oh yeah, there you go. I think these are the newer games. Yes, so every hero, you can also select any hero and also see all of these stats here. Yep. Nice to meet you, Tidehunter. All of this cool stuff. So pretty interesting so far.
I am unnatural born.
What? Who was talking there? Was that Terrorblade? I didn't want to select Terrorblade. I don't play that hero. Shut up. Yeah, there goes Slark, for example. I have a terrible win rate on Slark. I don't know why I even showed that. There's also the trends thing, which is... Oh, I think this is actually for... Yeah, this must be for the... This is actually not for me, but for the whole community in general. You can say, yeah. Pick percentage, win percentage. Yeah, this is like for the bracket, for all the skill brackets. Due to a small sample size, stats from normal players are included with divine players. I thought the sample size was actually bigger. Now that like Immortal starts with 7,000 or so and goes up to all the way up to 12,000 MMR, it feels like the sample size for Immortal is actually bigger than that of Divine, but okay. And now we go to the new features of Dota Plus. Those being what you're about to see here. This is essentially those are essentially kind of sort of pay to win features, but they don't affect gameplay, at least not directly. They may only affect your decision making, which kind of does affect the gameplay, but yes, not exactly directly, is what I'm trying to say. Yep, there you go. So, what? Somebody rejected the game. So, with Dota Plus, every time you're about to enter a match, you can decide to decline the match based on the stats that you see on the screen before you. You will not be punished for refusing to participate in the match. Not exactly a pay to win, but pay to avoid punishment, that's for sure. That's your like a get out of jail free card, kind of, sort of. Oh, there you go. Skill range, all players close. Behavior, all players ideal. Mwah. Europees 9 milliseconds ping. Damn, 9 milliseconds, that's insane. So the original plan for this video was, after this long intro and description, for me to actually record a couple games while using Dota Plus Assistant to showcase its power, so to speak. But unfortunately, things didn't quite work out because my OBS decided to shit itself. And so, all the recordings are messed up. So now, what I'm going to do instead is show you a couple of replays of the games that I've recently played. And the two main characteristics of those replays is that I got 0 deaths in both of them. In one I was playing as Tidehunter position 4, the other was Wraith King position 3. And yes, I got 0 deaths in both. And I feel like part of it was because I actually picked the hero that, according to Dota Buff Assistant, had a very high advantage, both in terms of allies and in terms of enemies. Pretty much most of them, I had the green arrow up. For all of these heroes, or for most of these heroes, the green arrow up, and like the percentages were like around 2% and above. So I feel like these picks actually made quite a big difference. So this is what I'm going to do. Going to observe this and explain my thought process, explain what I was doing, and hopefully you'll see and enjoy. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy this format or not. Hopefully soon enough I'm going to be recording normally without my OBS constantly having mental breakdowns, but today is not that day, so I'll just try to be careful and not mess up these recordings as well. So the first game I'm going to be showing you is going to be me playing Tidehunter. I was standing there in the corner. So yeah, Tidehunter is a kind of one of the favorites of mine, along with Konka, ironically enough, because as you know, Tidehunter is quite a charming fellow overall, and he's quite a formidable team fighter. And also does pretty well in lane, as I usually feel like. And you know, the lower your rank is, the more important the laning stage is in terms of that. Off of the laning stage, if you win all the lanes, you can then snowball and just into infinity and win. In this case, though, I picked Tidehunter because I saw some, we need an off laner, or so I thought, and I saw some numbers. From the Dota Buff Assistant about advantages with the allies and against the enemy heroes that were already picked. And for whatever reason, not only were most of them green, but also the advantage with Terrorblade as an ally was like over 7%. Like there was this green arrow and it was like over 7%. This means, I guess this means that technically the win rate of Tidehunter with Terrorblade in the team is like 57 point something percent or something ridiculous like that, which is, yes, I just said it, but it is ridiculous. It is completely unreasonable. I'm not entirely sure even why that happens, but yeah, I guess just Tidehunter's crowd control and damage reduction really helps Terrorblade, seal the deal or something like that. Not entirely sure, but yes, this is in fact how ridiculous that advantage is. So the enemy team did end up getting 3 bounty runes here, not very good for us, but I'm sure it's not the end of the world, right? Especially considering, as you know already, we are, in this game, I have 0 deaths, like I already described, so yeah. So even though I did say that Tidehunter is usually performs fairly well in lane, unless you're against anti-mage who just drains all your mana instantly, in this case this is actually not true at all, because not only are we matched against Enchantress and Centaur, which Centaur has a very thick skin. It's actually, the more you attack him, the more you hurt yourself, of course. But also the Enchantress, both Tidehunter and Terrorblade, they are kind of really good against normal attacks, right? Because Terrorblade has 9 armor at level 1 already, And Tidehunter has his Kraken Shell, which, you know, it constantly reduces damage from every single attack you take. Yeah, it is normally... They're really good, they're both really good against physical attacks. However, yeah, the problem number one is that, of course, Enchantress's Impetus does pure damage, and she's also going to max it out, as you'll see very shortly. And the other problem is that I'm not actually farming the lane. I thought I was going to be position 3, but I'm actually position 4, while Terrorblade is actually farming this lane. As you see, he's gotten like full carry setup, and you know, obviously after seeing his Quelling Blade Circlet and Slippers, I already realized what he was going to do. So I decided to, you know, give the farm priority to him, of course. But also, you know, even if I wanted to steal some assets from him, it was going to be really hard, because Terrorblade has a far superior not only attack speed but also attack animation to Tidehunter. So overall, yeah, Terrorblade was farming the lane, and for me it wasn't very good experience, because I feel like Tidehunter definitely needs farm to be effective in the game, because first of all, his spells have pretty sizable mana costs, or you know, or at the very least they're both spammable, and he doesn't have a very good mana pool, so he does need some to farm some kind of a mana item like Soul Ring or Arcane Boots, at least from my experience. And also, yeah, I brought myself a Sentry because I realized the scamp was blocked and I wanted to pull, actually. But also, besides that, you know, Tidehunter also, besides his Ravage, he is not very good, actually that good in a team fight, because he's not very mobile. So even getting in and doing the Ravage is not very easy without like a Blink Dagger. And also he is, you know, in general, he has survivability, but if the enemies have no reason to attack him, then the survivability is just a moot point. Like, what is he gonna do? You know, Anchor Smash radius is relatively small, so like ranged heroes like Enchantress or, well, if there was Drow Ranger, for example, ranged heroes like Enchantress or Drow Ranger are unaffected by Anchor Smash. Gush isn't a very strong disable, you know, it's only a bit of a slow. So yeah, in order to actually make his survivability worth it, and to make him, you know, mobile so he can actually use his Ravage properly, Tidehunter does need a bit of farm. And I am going to be struggling with it this game because, of course, yeah, well, I'm in position 4, essentially. Terrorblade is farming the lane, or trying to, and I am not. Yeah, a bit of a completely weird, like, our lane looked like they're kind of flipped, you know, because, yeah, the enemy team has a carry Centaur for some reason who's already has got Vanguard and nothing else. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, we have a carry Doom with a support CM, which of course, you know, support CM is normal, but carry Doom, not really. And they are once again playing against a normal lane of Pudge and Grimstroke. And mid lane is also a little bit crazy because we got Juggernaut versus Monkey King. You know, Monkey King is kind of normal for mid lane because, you know, he benefits greatly from the experience he gains quickly from mid lane. And also he has, yeah, pretty good lane control with his Jingo Mastery and whatnot. And Juggernaut, well, yeah, Juggernaut is kind of going to struggle a little bit against him. Because, you know, as a melee hero, and of course Blade Fury, I am pretty sure it does not dispel, well, it dispels something, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, you cannot dispel the counter of Jingo Mastery. So that's not very great. He can, however, spin to do substantial damage to Monkey if Monkey tries to build up those stacks on him, so that's a bit of a benefit. Here Podge dies. Yeah, they're going to continue trading kills on this bot lane all throughout the laning stage. Meanwhile, I'm just walking around and trying to not let my Terrorblade die, although he's got really close here to that. But I think, yeah, Centaur could theoretically stomp him in a couple seconds, but he decided to double edge instead, and the damage wasn't enough. However, he's got such a huge regeneration from his Vanguard that his illusion essentially does no damage to him, which means that, yeah, the reflection illusion, I mean, which means that we actually have no tools to actually finish him off, even though he almost dies, but not quite. The enemy team does, of course, have a ward here at the top lane, right next to our tower, but I had no idea, they didn't reveal in any way that they had it, so I didn't de-ward it, of course. And also, yeah, the Centaur on his way back, he found a regeneration rune, so now he immediately comes back to lane with full health. Here the enemy team goes on me because I essentially put myself between the between them and my Terrorblade. Terrorblade tries to kill the Enchantress, but she's already got level 2 Nature's Attendance, so it's basically impossible unless I've got some kind of a stun. Which I just leveled up Gush, but it's already too little too late. So yeah, Terrorblade Illusions once again are going to be struggling a little bit against the Centaur with Vanguard. But with Metamorphosis, yeah, they do a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough. So at this point I decided that, you know, there was very little I could actually do in lane, and Terrorblade seemed to be doing okay by himself. No, besides the one time he dies. So I realized that Enchantress has all been in lane the whole time, so she's never gone for the bounty runes, so I do that instead and get lucky. Oh, I mean lucky that the monkey didn't get them either, so I get both. Get 2 bounty runes, that's pretty cool. And I decide to stay around and also farm this camp because, you know, this way Terrorblade gets more experience, and I'm also doing something. I think at this point I was shaking something on the map, so I actually got smashed by the Ogre. Not very pleasant, but oh well. Yeah, I decided to finish him off without the Anchor Smash to save mana. Also light the Lantern, because why not? Monkey is coming here. I think he wants to gank the Terrorblade, which is not very hard considering Terrorblade is level 4. And he's level 7, or at least it shouldn't be very hard. I still don't think we see him at this point. I went for the experience rune, because I realized no one's grabbed that either, so at least I got that. Monkey ults, tries to attack the Terrorblade, but of course, you know, it's really hard to kill Terrorblade when all we've got is right clicks, and at this point that is all Monkey has, so it is really hard. I get blasted by the Enchantress here, so I back off for a moment. Don't walk very far though, and at this point I'm in real danger of dying, but a timely usage of Magic Wand as well as Fairy Fire prevents me from dying, and now I'm also spitting on the monkey so we can kite him a little bit better. Yeah, of course he gets a massive heal from his Boundless Strike. However, he doesn't stun completely misses the Terrorblade and doesn't stun the Juggernaut because Juggernaut was spinning, and at the end of the day everybody survives. It was a 3v3 fight under tower, and everybody survived. Amazing, right? So yeah, I decided to do like a little bit of a big brave move here. I noticed that Tidehunter doesn't quite have, you know, a comfortable enough health regeneration rate, in the early game at least, so I decided to, in this case since I'm playing position 4, decided to go for an early headdress. I know I want to get mech eventually because, you know, it's not a bad thing to have a mech, definitely, and I feel like it fits the Tidehunter who just, you know, kind of waddles around slowly and kind of supports his allies with Gush and Anchor Smash. Normally, of course, I finish Arcane Boots first, because that way I can just comfortably spam my skills all the time. However, because I am support and I'm not actually farming the lane, I'm not getting very much out of the lane, my Arcane Boots are still relatively far off from being finished, so I decided to spend some extra money on the headdress so I could, for example, farm the jungle more comfortably. Yes, still more kill trades going on at the bot lane. Nothing special, don't worry about it, they will just keep killing each other all the time. At this point I teleport in because I see multiple people. So I decide to teleport in, help out the team. Monkey, I do spit on the monkey here before he gets hooked. But he has 3 dances on cooldown, so we can still chase him down for now. For some reason... Oh wait, never mind, he doesn't have 3 dance, that was Mischief. Yeah, for some reason this guy does not have 3 dance at all. Well, he just dies. I see 2 people here, so I am like, yes, sure, let's ravage them. I always habitually use Anchor Smash after... Yeah, I always like habitually use Anchor Smash after using Ravage because, you know, if there's a Rubik on the enemy team, I don't want him to steal it. But, yeah, in this case, of course, there is no Rubik on the enemy team, but I still go for Anchor Smash immediately after Ravage because, yeah, for the same reason. Just so I can, you know, I do it pretty much reflexively at this point. Now I've got my Arcane Boots. I can farm the jungle some more after a successful team fight and see where I could go next. I've got some time before my Ravage is off cooldown again. So I'll just, yeah, hang around and farm a little bit. So there is yet another team fight, or sort of team fight kind of happening. There are 4 enemies here, and Centaur is coming as well. There's only 2 of us, so CM unfortunately dies. Doom gets around and also dies. Juggernaut gets silenced. I just came here, I was farming Ancients nearby. Unfortunately, I had a mechanism, but didn't use it. Maybe it could have saved the Doom, maybe I didn't, but I just got it, so I'm not yet used to having it. So yeah, there are 2 enemies and or 5 enemies and only 3 of us pushing the lane. And I have no Ravage, so it's relatively dangerous. However, I do know that, you know, since my Anchor Smash works so wonderfully... Oh, sorry, I mean my Kraken Shell. I can just, yeah, remove the creeps from here. Or I can aggro the creeps without them actually killing me. Because it's really hard to kill the Tidehunter when you're already on the tower. Yeah, so here they use the center ult to try and get out. At this point, all of us are here as well, so the stuff kind of turns around. This is, you know, really dangerous when you're pushing towers in the early game. They should make sure that, you know, they can't just turn it around like that. You need, like, better vision and stuff. Very good Omni Slash by the Juggernaut. Every hit goes on the hero. A 3-man Ravage by me, and also a CM ult to top it off, although it didn't quite work out for her. And now it's just Monkey left, and he's still... Yeah, his tree dance didn't quite come off cooldown in time. He finally has it, but it's too little too late, and he also gets destroyed. At this point, Doom almost has his Radiance. Technically on Doom you can get a Radiance a lot earlier, I feel like. But he was dying a couple times to the Pudge and Grimstroke combo, which is really strong in the early game. You know, Pudge can just walk around with a Rot, walk around or walk next to the enemy hero with Rot while also being buffed up by Grimstroke's Inkswell. It's a huge speed advantage, and then the Inkswell explodes for lots of damage as well. Plus the silence from Grimstroke, it's really hard to get away from that. But now, yeah, we've got about a 6k advantage already, and my Mech and Ravage are definitely helping us out already. Even though they are fairly late, Juggernaut walks up and dies again. I saw it, yeah, I saw this replay, I watched this replay today once already. Unfortunately, this is the second time I'm trying to record this because a little mini rant here. There is a bit of a weird situation with OBS where sometimes for some reason it can't see my microphone, so I have to like reconnect the microphone and make sure that it's actually like working properly. And so it's really weird because sometimes it recognizes the microphone and sometimes it doesn't. Of course, you know, once I finish recording, I disconnect the microphone so to get it out of the way, and then I stow it away safely. But yeah, sometimes after I reconnect it to when I'm about to start recording, sometimes OBS recognizes the microphone, and sometimes it doesn't. I have no idea what the pattern is or why it works like that. So if anybody could explain this to me, I'd appreciate, because, you know, I keep forgetting about it, and sometimes because I forgot to turn the microphone on, or forgot to check that the microphone is recognized, it results in, you know, hours of recording being lost. At this point, Crystal Maiden decided to rush Aghanim's first item. No Glimmer Cape, no Force Staff, no nothing. No Lotus Orb, just, literally just the Aghanim Scepter. And yeah. It's not working out so good, but maybe it might work out eventually. Because, you know, a combination of, like, all of her spells at once is pretty powerful, considering you can keep using them. Juggernaut actually manages to finish off the Enchantress. I also did a Ravage there, and, yeah, it's another successful team fight for us. At this point, I've got my Guardian Greaves. And yeah, with Jug Ward and my Mechanism, we've got so much healing that it's really difficult for enemies to finish us off once all their spells have been fired off. Centaur is not there, and he also didn't use his Stampede for some reason. I have no idea what he's thinking, but yeah, it's a bit of a mistake by him.
Oh, yes.
Alright, this is a very interesting teamfight coming up here, so they go on me, which is always a mistake. You shouldn't really try to go on a Tidehunter. They stun me a whole bunch of times, they silence me, Grimstroke silences me, so the end result is that the CM gets to use her ult for a couple seconds. And because of that, yeah, they take so much damage that then it's really hard to fight for them, especially into Doom and Metamorphosis, and my Ravage was on cooldown. So here, Terrorblade gets an ultra kill, which is wonderful, but also what's really funny is that Pudge actually blinked on top of the cliff and hooked me onto the cliff as well. And since I'm nowhere near my own blink dagger, I actually bought the Mask of Morbid Mask, yeah, because I thought I was gonna die, so the only way for me to get out of here is to teleport somewhere else. But yeah, I was fighting for my life there, smashing and spitting like a madman. Ravage was still on cooldown, but now it's not anymore. But yeah, so you go on a Tidehunter, and then, you know, 30 seconds later you realize you fired off all of your spells into the Tidehunter and still couldn't kill him. Also, yeah, a bit of a mistake by the Grimstroke. He buffed the monkey with the Inkwell, the Inkswell, sorry. But as the CM started ulting, he didn't detonate the Inkswell in time, so just a couple seconds, CM did tons of damage to like 3 of their heroes. And that was pretty much the deciding factor. And then Terrorblade came in as well as Doom, as well as everybody else, and yeah, it was very hard to come back from that. At this point, I'm going with Vladimir's Offering because you know, once again, super useful aura, just like Guardian Greaves. And after Vlad's, I think I'm going to go Blink Dagger because, like I've already explained, Tidehunter kind of suffers from lack of mobility because he's also, in addition to not having any mobility, you know, abilities, he's also fairly slow. So Blink Dagger I feel like is a must-have item regardless of your position on this hero, just for Ravage alone, because Ravage is way too powerful to just ignore it. So another very interesting team fight coming up here. So at a certain point the enemy team did end up getting the Aegis, went to the Monkey King who only has Echo Saber and nothing else, so it wasn't a very smart choice, maybe, I don't know. But now the 3 of them, Monkey, Enchantress and Pudge, are smoking up and trying to find a kill. And I have no idea why the Grimstroke and the Centaur didn't go with them. Terrorblade saw the Monkey, but then he decided the Monkey was alone, so he went in, but surprise! There's actually 3 people, so Terrorblade gets got on, but immediately I blink in, Ravage, heal the Terrorblade, so he is no longer in any danger of dying. He's actually not using his Metamorphosis here because, he's so confident we can do it without them anyway. Radiance to get on Doom is also really good against Monkey's Tree Dance, I just realized that, but yeah. Now he's completely surrounded and nothing is going to help him, prevent him from dying. Meanwhile, once again, Centaur not using his Stampede, Grimstroke not there at all, I have no idea what he was doing. A really bad decision, but also, yeah, you can see exactly why and how you usually use Blink Ravage on Tidehunter. You want one of your teammates to get gun on, and then you blink and Ravage, and Guardian Greaves or whatever if you have it, and suddenly the entire teamfight completely turns around because now the enemy team is stunned, they can't kill whoever they went on. And especially in the case of Terrorblade, he didn't sunder anybody last fight, but if he did do that, there would have been, an even more powerful cleanup. At this point, yeah, both the Centaur and Grim kind of just went in and died. Once again, not very smart by them. I'm trying to anchor smash, but of course the creeps are invulnerable, so no lifesteal. But this, again, since Terrorblade now has his Metamorphosis up, this allows us to very easily clean up the enemy barracks as well. So overall, a super successful team fight for us, and now the enemy team loses a lane of ranks, and now we are at a 26k advantage. Like it's nothing. Juggernaut has his Aghanim Scepter, I get my Aghanim Shard. The reason I went Shard is because I feel like it's really good against Centaur Ultimate in particular, because I'm pretty sure the way it works is that if the Centaur stampedes and then you put an anchor, which is called Dead in the Water. If you put the anchor on somebody who's affected by stampede, they will still be slowed because they are. Yeah, it's not just a movement speed slow; they are attached to the anchor. They leash to the anchor, and the anchor can only move so quickly. Namely at like 100 units per second or whatever. What is the slow percentage again? Yeah. Attempting to move more than 350 units away from the anchor forces the hero to 100 move speed, dragging the anchor behind them. A really good item against Centaur in particular. Although, even if it wasn't about the Centaur, I would still get it eventually. Just maybe not this early, maybe after Aghanims or something. Okay, at this point, Terrorblade is on top of the net worth. even more net worth than a Radiance Doom. I'm not entirely sure how he's done that, but yeah, it is in fact the case. You got BKB and Scotty, so he's basically indestructible. Yeah, the only thing that goes through Blacking Bar on the enemy team is of course the Pudge's Dismember. I'm pretty sure. Well, also the leash from the Soulbind, but that doesn't really count. Although it could technically count if like Pudge could ult two people who are both bound by the soulbind. Here, 38 minutes in, we've got an initiation by Pudge on top of the Doom. So this, even though the Pudge eats him immediately, it barely does any damage to the Doom. His Blade Mail is unfortunately on cooldown, so he does take some serious damage. Still manages to kill the monkey. Pudge is gonna burn to death just from the ultimate. Here I blink in just in time to save him. However, the Enchantress is still going to have some problems finishing him off anyway, because she didn't have her, she's out of mana. And the Juggernaut, despite the fact that she's got level 2 untouchable at this point, Juggernaut still manages to finish her off. And there you saw the anchor, you know. Once the anchor was attached, she couldn't really do anything. She couldn't get away in any way. So, a really successful turnaround by us. Doom's the carry, you know, our carry survives. Kills 2 people while he killed them on his own, but then he still survived. So at this point there's a fight happening bottom. Once again, Centaur is anchored, can't get away. Grimstroke is, yeah, they tried to kill the CM, but Juggernaut and I showed up just in time to save her. And all the while, Terrorblade is just destroying the enemy barracks. So at this point the game is basically over. 36k advantage for Team Radiant. We're attacking the T4s, which might be a mistake, because at this point, especially against the Pudge, it's definitely safer to get Mega Creeps. Juggernaut is going aggressive. He might pay for it. Nope, never mind. He did not in fact pay for it. So he has the right idea. Just goes and gets tries to get Mega Creeps, which is really funny. The tower is not affected by the backdoor protection. I have no idea what's happening, but yeah, the tower just doesn't have backdoor protection. I don't know, maybe it's because of the Jug Ward or something, but... Or maybe it's because of these creeps here. I'm still, you know, 10 years later, or... yeah, 10 years later, still not entirely sure how backdoor protection works. So we do get Mega Creeps here. And yeah, I've got all my spells ready. I've got Vlad's Guardian Greaves all ready. So now all it takes is a final push to finally finish the job. So once again, initiation on the Crystal Maiden, who was at the extremely wrong place at an extremely wrong time. And of course, her, you know, she has a Shadow Blade as a getaway item, but it's not, you know... Eventually that kind of stops working, so they are trying to go on us right now. There's Terrorblade, he gets eaten by the Pudge immediately. 4 heroes are focusing him, but then I show up and do a Ravage on 4. Terrorblade activates his Black King Bar. He's no longer be able to get killed by anybody. The Enchantress gets doomed on the sidelines. Grim tries to run away. He actually has an Ascetic's Cap, which actually works really well. Oh yeah, by the way, I've got a Ceremonial Robe too, which makes my Gush and Anchor and Ravage stronger, so it's pretty good stuff. I feel like we were able to catch the Grimstroke here thanks to the Ceremonial Robe. I'm trying to, I didn't realize the ghost was attached to Doom and not to me, so I attacked the ghost instead of spitting on him, but yeah. In the final kill of the game, I demonstrate, yep, once again the advantage of the Anchor. The Centaur couldn't run to the fountain because of the Anchor, and now, even though I am super close to death, I did not in fact die. And also Doom's Courier has died apparently because he sent it into towers, but Doom has an Abyssal Blade at this point. I have no idea why would you go Abyssal Blade when you've got no attack speed. For your information, by the way, Doom has one of the worst base attack times in the game, which means he has one of the slowest attack speeds at level 1. But yeah. Says easy Pudge. I wouldn't say that, you were constantly dying to the Pudge, but whatever. So yeah. A very good demonstration, in my opinion, about how useful the Dota buff or Dota Plus assistant can actually be. I keep saying Dota buff because I check Dota buff all the time, you know. But yeah, 4-0-27, pretty much a perfect score for a support hero. 0 deaths, which is not expected of a support, but still perfect for any hero. 4 minimal kills and all the assists. So yeah, overall great stuff, and in my opinion, Dota Plus definitely helped here. I mean, it's kind of the enemy team's fault that it didn't have a real carry, and also this carry played really badly because he kept, you know, not using Stampede when it would be super useful, and not participating in critical team fights, so he kind of cost them the game as well. And I'm not entirely sure how much he could have done even so, because, you know, it wasn't like, you know, most of these team fights we didn't like win by the skin of our teeth. We won them, you know, just you know, there was a very clear advantage for all of these team fights, so I'm not entirely sure how much the Tidehunter would have changed, but yeah. So this was the first game I wanted to show you, and now I am going to show you yet another game, which I once again won with 0 deaths, and I'm pretty sure Dota Plus Assistant has to be thanked for it. So in this game I picked Wraith King because like I said, I think there were very good percentages. Again, against Legion Commander, you know, ganking heroes who rely on their spells, big spells to kill enemies such as Legion Commander, Faceless Void and Silencer. I think Wraith King is really good because he doesn't really care, he just dies and comes back immediately. And yes, we do get first blood on the Snapfire. Very good stuff. Very nicely done. I'm pinging the bounty rune because I actually, you know, want to grab it. We just fought over it. Yes, we did kill somebody, but that's not enough. Okay, the game is for some reason in directed camera, which I do not appreciate. Thank you very much. And there you go. So I'm going to be laning with either AA or Skywrath Mage. I actually forgot. Oh no, never mind. Skywrath Mage is teleporting bottom. Yeah, it's going to be like a carry Skywrath Mage with a position 5 Lich. Our lane, meanwhile, is going to be a little bit more normal with Wraith King and Ancient Apparition. Although I feel like Ancient Apparition isn't like the best position for ever because he can't really gank, he doesn't really have too much disable, he only has a little bit of slow on these two skills and an extremely unreliable stun, which is really hard to land, especially against heroes like Faceless Void and Snapfire. Although, you know, of course he doesn't have to use it on them, he can do it use it on somebody else, but yeah. Relatively more normal lane, +5 Snapfire, carry Void versus us, yeah, Wraith King and Ancient Apparition. But on the bottom lane is going to be a complete pandemonium. Well, Pudge with Legion Commander is kind of normal, but Pudge isn't a very good position for it, because yeah, he just stands around, waits to hook somebody, and if your lane partner doesn't have a disable, then it can be extremely hard to pull off. At least what he can do is farm the centaurs here. Doesn't seem to be quite doing that so far. Mid lane is Viper against Silencer. I also often like to try Silencer mid. It pretty much never works out for me though, so I've kind of given up at this point. But I hope, you know, eventually Silencer gets like buffed to the point where he can actually be played in the mid lane, because you know his late game presence can be quite strong with the Aghanim's Shard, as well as the, you know, all of the intelligence that he gets from Glaives of Wisdom. And also the fact that, you know, last word is also now based on intelligence, of the damage of it. And you can do lots of AoE damage, you can bounce your glaives on 2 enemies, you can silence 2 enemies pretty much permanently, so he is very strong in the late game, but his laning is just so poor, especially in the mid lane, that it often ends up not working out. I don't know, maybe I should try him as position 3, but you know, for past 3 people usually pick, you know, tankier characters, and Silencer is definitely not one of them. He has no escape and no survivability. Stuff is happening in the bottom lane, people are dying, no big deal. So AA just grabbed the Lotuses. Yeah. I always forget about Lotuses, so it's kind of hard for me to actually do it, but yeah. Wraith King and AA, we can see we're doing a lot of damage to our enemies. There you go. I deployed my skeletons here, hoping to actually kill somebody finally. Void is chasing down AA, not very great. Void does get stunned here, he has some issues, but I don't think I can kill him here, because unfortunately I'm a little too slow, I don't have my phase boots yet, and his jump eventually comes off cooldown, and he leaps away. Silencer, a surprisingly successful gank by Silencer. I think his last word slows people now, or is it Curse? Radius damage slow, yeah, okay, the Curse slows, so Silencer can gank a little bit better now because he has, you know, actual ways of impairing enemies' movements instead of just preventing them from leaping with spells. I'm not great at last hitting, please look away, this is not very great. But I am doing my job. I think this game I do end up going Radiance because, you know, Radiance is a favorite item for many people when it comes to Wraith King, because, you know, of course, when you die and respawn immediately and you've got full health and your Radiance is active again, it's a very good reason to go for it, but I wouldn't always recommend it, especially if you're like, if you've got heroes, if you're doing really poorly in the early game, like constantly dying, or if you're going for if you're facing heroes with mana drain, it could be quite problematic. Okay, yeah, still, you know, trading kills at the bottom lane. But yeah, this game I do end up going Radiance, and yes, from what I've seen, most people actually max out the Vampiric Spirit first, because it's like the most damaged due to the skeletons. So that's what I always do as well. I'm not entirely sure if it's always warranted, or if it's, or sometimes you should max like your stun or your crit first. I don't know, maybe if you're playing carry and you're having a relatively free time farming, then maxing out crit might be better first, but I don't do that. I just always max this Vampiric Spirit first. There's an Observer Ward here which we don't know about. I go on the Snapfire, yeah, doing a lot of damage to her. Void is gonna leap away, of course, and we are left without kills again, I'm pretty sure. Unless I can just run here. Oh yeah, with Phase Boots I'm actually surprisingly faster than the Void, especially, well, over there he was slowed by the AA, but still. 365, and with Phase Boots is like around 400. For Void he's still at 355, so yeah. And of course, as a Faceless Void he's gonna go Treads, because attack speed is everything for that hero. Silencer ganks us again. I think at this point I almost blocked the AA there, which wasn't very good. My summoning thingamabob is unfortunately on cooldown. Void, luckily enough, does not bash me here, so I just walk out peacefully. Unfortunately, the AA just is paper thin, and when Silencer ganks him with all the damage from the mid lane, of course, doesn't end up really all that well for the AA, especially considering Silencer maxed out the glaives first. This time Viper counter ganks, and Silencer, yeah, this is the problem with mid Silencer. You walk up to an enemy who can kill you, you die. There's very little you can do, unless you like use global silence as you're walking towards them. Then you might have a chance, because global silence into last word, it's gonna be a lot of silence, and in the meantime where you pelt them with your maxed out glaives and maybe you have a chance, but otherwise, yeah, you can only do that once every 2 minutes because the cooldown is so huge, so that's also not that great. We destroyed the tower like 10 minutes in, I think. Yeah, I get hooked by the Pudge. I'm walking away here because, yeah, I don't want to quite die yet. I don't think I have to die, so I walk away. Try to heal up with one a little bit. Unfortunately, the curse does a lot of damage to me here. See your Faceless Void use the Kronos here as I was about to swing my sword on him. Look how epic that looks. And then he dodges. Oh, he didn't. Yeah, of course I didn't see where he landed from the jump, so I thought he actually dodged my skull, but he actually didn't. And yeah, very good team fight. We killed pretty much everybody. I think, yeah, Pudge died first, so he already respawned, but yeah, we 5 men wiped him there. And at this point I'm well on my way towards the Radiance. Now, yeah, like I said, Radiance isn't always the right choice. I feel like if you're doing really poorly in the early game, then you shouldn't be going for it. But considering my score is 203, 12 minutes in, I'd say that's pretty good. So I have no qualms whatsoever about going for this glorious Radiance. Yeah, the swarm of couriers looks so weird on the minimap. Look at this, you know. Normally you only see, as you're playing, you only see one courier because the others just appear as dots. But in this case, yeah, it looks really weird. There's like a million wards in this area. What's going on? Why are they like so afraid of me or what? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, at this point, the entire enemy team is bottom. I am top, but I do have a TP scroll, so let's see if I actually pay attention to the map here and decide to teleport in. Lich gets hooked because he was standing still. He's not. Oh, his thing is on cooldown. Pudge dies, Legion Commander dies. I do in fact teleport in, go in the Silencer. Silencer is destroyed, yeah. An excellent 4-man AA ultimate. We actually saw them. Yeah, we had a ward here, so our team actually saw them coming. And as a result we were able to almost wipe them out again. Faceless Void wasn't there, but then again neither was Viper, so it's a very nice 4v4 team fight, where once again I didn't even pop my ultimate, or they didn't even pop my ultimate. I just showed up and got a couple assists. As the score is now 206. It is 40 minutes in now. They are trying to kill the Lich and Skywrath Mage again, but this time it's our whole team here. Legion Commander dodges the AA ult, so I just tell my team to go back, especially after we get pelted by we get shelled by Snapfire. which doesn't really do anything but does a lot of damage to the Lich. So I start using the mirror gate to teleport, but then we get global silence, so I was like, oh, they probably need me here, you know? A fight's about to break out, but then again, there's 5 of us and only 2 of them. I have no idea what they were expecting. And Snapfire is, yeah, Snapfire's ult is already on cooldown, so it was quite illogical. But now, since there is all 5 of us here, we have absolutely no reason not to destroy this tower, which we immediately carry out. Of course, in the meantime, Void is pushing top like he should, so well played on that. But yeah, so you can see this Faceless Void is very poor. He's only getting his Mask of Madness, you know, 15 minutes in, and that's all he has. Yeah, if we go to net worth Y? Yeah, Y. As you can see, I've got basically more than 50% greater net worth than the enemy carry. This is, I guess, one of the good things that Wraith King can do, is since he does so much damage in lane from his skeletons and his blast. Yeah, here I get gone on. There you go. Easy peasy with the skeletons, of course. Yeah, this is probably like the reason Wraith King is really good against Pudge, is because of all these skeletons. I think, I'm not still entirely sure how the changed Wraithfire Blast works, because it has like a... It does... Yeah, it gives skeletons like bonus damage. Oh yeah, bonus attack speed and movement speed. There you go. Every time you use the Wraithfire Blast on somebody. I should probably make a video WTF happened to Wraith King as well, at some point in the future, because the WTF happened to video did relatively well, or at least as well as the previous ones, so I'm definitely feeling, you know, like I should probably do one more. But yeah, 16 minutes in, I've got Radiance, and Faceless Void has 2 deaths and a Mask of Madness. Did he even use his... Oh yeah, he uses Chronosphere to kill the AA and still died. I don't know how that's possible, but he did. They're also the same level. Viper just casually walks in and kills the Silencer again. Did he even use the spells? Oh, well, he had no mana for global, and yeah, he used the last word, but that's about it. Interesting. So Pudge just ate somebody, but still died. Yeah. Unfortunately, Viper and AA die here because it was the whole enemy team. However, the cavalry has arrived. Never mind the fact that Wraith King walks around instead of riding with you. There goes Legion Commander, there goes Snapfire. No chance to escape for the Silencer as per usual. Of course, the Faceless Void runs away. Oh, Lich places a ward on which we can now see the Void, so I'm like, Alright, I think somebody started pinging the Void here. Oh yeah, there you go. Lich is pinging him, so I'm like, yep, I'm coming, alright. Yeah, I think I walked through the tower. No, I did not walk through the tower, so yeah, he just dies here without my input. But I still actually get the kill because of the Radiance. So yeah, at this point I'm the highest net worth on the map. Well, I was before, but now I'm even higher. Faceless Void is kind of catching up after those 2 kills on the AA and Viper, but yeah, overall it's not going to work very well. Of course, I'm creep skipping here. Both to make sure I get all the last hits and also to let our creeps hit the tower in peace. At this point I should probably start backing off because, you know, Pudge is there, but I just deploy my skeletons and now it's really hard to hook me all of a sudden. Lich is being a great support here, destroying enemy sentries. I think if he... yeah, there is an observer ward which our sentries do not see because, yeah, there is 1 sentry here and that's it. The Void is pinging the Lich, he wants to fight. He's right here. He's going Battle Fury, interestingly enough. I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah, so... There's Viper, it gets eaten by the Pudge, gets silenced, does not care at all. Gets hit by the couple Snapfire shots, doesn't care at all. Or by a couple Mortimer's Kiss, I should say. I get buffed with... it feels like... Okay, no, never mind. I was gonna say, it feels like the Lich Frost Armor actually gives you movement speed, but that was just the phase boots. Legion Commander goes invisible and escapes. No problem, we're just gonna push the lane then. Think Faceless Void... Oh, his Chronosphere is still on cooldown. I figured he'd already used by this point, but it's actually on cooldown still. And will come off very soon. Of course, capturing the enemy thingamabob here, Shrine, Outpost. It's called Outpost, right? AA is in a very dangerous position here. I feel like, yeah, LC will probably kill him here. But note how he's higher level than she is, and also she messed up the buttons, you know, she activated duel before the... or activated this thing before duel. Although maybe it was the correct choice, but yeah. Ultimately, didn't get the duel damage. I feel your pain, Legion Commander. I also enjoy playing Legion Commander, but if you don't get... if you got 10 duel damage at 22 minutes into the game, it's relatively painful. Or it is quite painful, I dare say. Would not recommend. So Void is now... still hasn't got his Battle Fury. Poor bloke. I don't think having Mask of Madness and Battle Fury at 23 minutes into the game is going to do anything, but... oh well. It's free to try, I suppose. Well, still 22 and a half, but still. You can't fight with Mask of Madness and Battle Fury. Not at this stage, and when the enemy team has so much net worth advantage, which of course, you know, especially at this level that I'm playing at, you don't really see the net worth advantage, and you probably can't even imagine how much it is. But yeah, it's a rather sad place, and I definitely would not recommend to go Battle Fury in that case. Okay. Although you might take the Pudge with him because, you know, why not? Unfortunately, they also stack their stuns, so the moment Viper stops getting eaten by the Pudge, he also stops being silenced, or the other way around, so... yeah, so I am of course going to die here. Finally some dual damage for the Legion Commander. But, considering my ult is now level 2, it's not so bad. Yeah, I completely annihilate the silencer here. I've got twice as much net worth as he does, so he stands absolutely no chance. There goes Snapfire. The Legion Commander is... yeah, I think I'm just gonna walk in and... yep, there you go. Walk in and take the tower, no problem, just so we can destroy the Legion Commander for good. And let's once again a full team wipe. Amazing. So I just teleported out to push mid because there was a lot of creeps, and you know, it's genuinely really a good thing to do when you see such a gigantic creep wave. Is definitely worth coming back for it. In the meantime, my team got yet another kill. At this point, we've got a 19k net worth advantage, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be extremely hard to come back even from that. At least at this skill rank. Of course, you know, they definitely have the heroes who could come back. You know, Faceless Void, Legion Commander, Pudge. Lots of ganking heroes who, if an opportunity arises, can completely turn the game around, but yeah. You could also say they do have a stronger team fight with us than us, between Snapfire, Kisses of Chronosphere, and also Global Silence. But Wraith King doesn't care. I got Blink Dagger here just so I could actually, you know, move around better in a team fight and actually chase people down. But Phase Boots are already surprisingly good at that, coupled with the Wraith Fire Blast, but could be better. You like Blink Dagger, as long as you're not super behind, Blink Dagger is pretty much a must-have item just for that reason, because you aren't actually afraid of initiating at all. You just jump in, turn on your blade mail, you know, turn on your skeletons, blast, and as long as you know, as long as they don't drain your mana, you're not afraid to die. And by the point you do die, your team will definitely be around and definitely solve most of the problems. Okay, I almost forgot to grab the T3 item. I wonder which one I get. I actually forgot. I think the game suggested Vindicator's Axe, but at this, in this case I decided to go for something else. I went for Cloak of Flames, so it could get even more burn damage on top of the Radiance. At this point in the game, I'm kind of regretting the fact that I don't have a Manta style, but yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, at this point, yeah, we decided to go Roshan because we were already near. And with such a massive disadvantage, of course, you know, the enemy team could catch us and completely turn the game around here. With both Roshan and the team wipe. But, you know, we're kind of... it looks like we're managing a pretty good speed here of destroying Roshan. He's got like a million debuffs on him. Also some kind of an armor reduction. I'm not sure where that came from. From Viper, maybe? Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, Viper has Aghanim's Shard now, so his poison attacks reduce armor. And also affect buildings. Just as a small and nice bonus. Yeah, for some reason, like, I was kind of hesitant to grab the Aegis because, you know, I'm Wraith King, I already have it built in. But then I was like, well, no one else is good enough to grab it because, like, no one else has such a massive, you know, advantage from that. So ultimately, AA decided to grab it, and yeah, I do die again, respawn again. At this point, they stand absolutely no chance. Silencer does get hooked, so a good save attempt by the Pudge, but it didn't work. And the only person who died was Lich. I'm not sure how he died. It felt like maybe the Silencer got him, or maybe it was Snapfire with one of the kisses. Yeah, at this point we destroy the enemy barracks, 27k gold advantage, so there is very little they can do. Especially against the Wraith King, I have to stress that again. Yeah, here I just 31 minutes in, I just casually blink on top of the Snapfire and destroy her. It takes some time because I have to walk forward, but now Faceless Void is on top of me. I've got plenty of mana, so I'm not actually afraid at all, I just go in on him as well. Do in fact get hooked. My hook dodging skills are the best, but yeah, of course. And they spent global silence on that as well. I have no idea. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. Perfect initiation, and then just walk away. Skywrath Mage gets gone on here, so I go back in to help, of course. And at this point, with 4 people dead, including Faceless Void, they didn't even use Chronosphere, by the way. Yeah, I just blink on top of the Pudge. He decides to eat me, but he actually does more damage to himself with that than he does to me, and there you go. Beyond Godlike 1507 score, 20,000 net worth at 32 minutes into the game. Pretty much a perfect Wraith King game. At this point, yeah, we just get mega creeps, and though the enemy team has respawn and they've still got Chronosphere, I feel like at this point there's very little they can actually do. And also, yeah, of course I got Aghanims before, now I have an Assault Cuirass as well, so I'm really scary. Yeah, just blink on top of the Silencer, he stands no chance whatsoever. Faceless Void does a 4-man Chronosphere, but all he can kill is a Skywrath Mage, who was supposed to be a carry, but I think he's like, well, he's actually 30 net worth, so he's kind of still doing it, but yeah. So I definitely would like to say that, you know, being Wraith King definitely contributed to that. Lots of damage in the early game in lane, thanks to the skeletons, and then as the game progresses, you know, specifically against this lineup of highly teamfight oriented lineup like Snapfire, Silencer, Faceless Void. In this kind of lineup, definitely Wraith King does a great job, and I feel like that was definitely a correct choice. 0 deaths. You know, bragging a little bit, but I'm not saying easy game, I'm just saying wow, 0 deaths, crazy stuff. And yeah, so definitely Dota Buff assistant helping, Dota Plus assistant helping out a lot here. Picking a hero that has a huge advantage over the enemy team by its very nature, and it worked out wonderfully. So yeah, you could say this is like kind of a pay-to-win thing, honestly, a little bit, but I would kind of disagree. The reason being that, you know, yeah, these data are technically in the public domain, right? You can get access to them for free. Through sites like Dota Buff, for example, you can already see which heroes have advantage over which other heroes. Through sites like Pro Tracker, for example, you can see what items you need to build on the whatever hero you're playing. And you know, if you don't know how to play the hero you're picking, it won't matter in the end, because you will just, you know, you will just not perform very well. So yeah. What it actually does is just make the research faster, you know, you don't need to do any research on those topics before you join the game. You can just see exactly what you need to do, or what you most likely need to do, that is. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. I was really surprised, honestly, to me I was really surprised at how useful this feature can be when used properly. So yeah, I guess especially considering, you know, how it allows you to accumulate charts faster, or, you know, do cosmetic items faster, and also, you know, unlocks further progress than level 5. I dare say it is actually a pretty useful feature, even if, you know, some of these barriers that, like for example, the tier 5 limit on every hero are a little bit artificial and unnecessary, but yeah. Overall, the main strength isn't in that, it's in the information that it gives you throughout the game and before the game starts, in my opinion. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. If you don't enjoy it, also let me know in the comments below. If you did enjoy, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you very soon, hopefully, with another Dota video. So goodbye, take care everybody, and have a great rest of your day.